Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're tearing open a really fascinating topic, the world of the mail processor. Now, you probably have a picture in your head of what that involves.
Hmm.
But our source material today, 20 must-know mail processor interview questions with answers from Interview Prep's career coach. Well, it's going to show us there's a lot more depth than you might think.
Oh, absolutely. What's really interesting here is how tasks that seem, pretty straightforward on the surface,
Yeah.
they actually demand this complex mix of skills,
Mm-hmm.
precision, physical capability, and even some critical thinking.
Yeah.
So this deep dive, it isn't just about prepping for an interview, is it? It's more about understanding the real demands of a job that honestly keeps our world connected.
Exactly. That's our mission today. We want to unpack all these insights for you, give you a kind of shortcut to being genuinely well-informed about what it really takes, not just to ace the interview, but to actually excel in the role itself. We'll get into everything from the physical side to the strategic decisions. So let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the absolute foundational skills. When you hear mail processor, what's the very first thing that jumps out? Sorting, probably.
Definitely sorting. Yeah. And our source material really highlights that sorting and organizing mail, that's question one, by the way, it goes way beyond just, putting things in different bins.
Okay.
It requires speed, accuracy, and knowing all the different types of mail. Letters, yeah, but also packages, magazines, flats, plugs. You need to know specific ways to organize alphabetical, date order, maybe by size. And then there are related tasks like labeling, tracking, even sometimes delivering it internally within a large company. It's quite precise.
A precise art, I like that. And that precision, it's not just for the physical sorting, is it?
No, not at all.
The source emphasizes accuracy when entering data into a mailing database. That's question 6. And that sounds like more than just typing fast.
Oh, it is. It's about meticulous attention to detail. Think about it, one wrong digit in an address or a postcode.
Yeah, disaster.
Exactly. It can cause real problems.
Mm.
So the source brings up this question. How do you actually ensure that level of accuracy?
Right.
And it suggests strategies like always double-checking your work against the original documents.
Yeah.
Using software tools, spell check, autocorrect, sure, but maybe more advanced validation features too. And even simple things like organizational techniques, maybe color-coding certain types of entries or outlining key points if you're dealing with complex data. It also mentions tracking changes and updates within the database. It's really about building in those checks and balances. You have to.
Okay, so precision is key, but let's be honest, mail processing sounds like it involves some serious elbow grease too.
Definitely.
Question 2 directly asks, how do you handle the physical demands of a mail processing job? It calls out the labor involved pretty explicitly.
It's true. This isn't a desk job, not entirely anyway. It often involves sorting huge volumes of mail, lifting heavy packages, sometimes over and over. The interviewer needs to know you understand that you're physically capable, yes, but also that you have a plan to manage the strain.
A plan? Like what?
Well, maybe you have prior warehouse experience, or perhaps even hobbies like running or weightlifting. Show you're used to physical activity and understand sort of body mechanics and preventing injury.
Yeah.
It's really about showing you're committed to self-care so you can maintain peak performance on the job.
Okay, that makes sense. So physical capability, attention to detail. What happens when the machines, the equipment, doesn't cooperate?
Yes.
The source asks about troubleshooting an issue with a piece of mail processing equipment. That's question 3. This seems to get into problem-solving skills, which is where it gets really interesting, I think.
This is exactly where technical know-how meets practical application. The source gives examples, right? Like a machine jam, or maybe the label printer isn't working correctly. Common stuff. And it outlines this really systematic approach. First, identify the actual issue. Then maybe do some research. Is there a manual? Known issues. Then consult supervisors or maybe more experienced coworkers. You test potential solutions carefully. And crucially, you need to be able to explain what you did to fix it and maybe what you learned from it. This shows critical thinking, adaptability, really valuable skills.
Absolutely. And all this physical work, the machinery, it means safety has to be a huge priority.
Huge, non-negotiable.
The source actually covers 2 key safety questions here. Number 9, do you have experience working with hazardous materials? And number 10, what safety protocols do you follow when handling large volumes of mail?
These are critical. and they're distinct.
Fine.
For hazardous materials, maybe things like flammable liquids, certain batteries, biological samples, even explosives in some contexts.
Right.
If you have direct experience, you absolutely need to detail the specific safety protocols you followed. Training, PPE, handling procedures. If you don't have that specific experience, then expressing a strong willingness to learn and strictly follow all the company guidelines is vital, showing you take it seriously.
Okay. And for the large volumes of just general mail?
For that, the source stresses protocols like always wearing gloves, maybe protective eyewear depending on the process, using proper lifting techniques back straight, lift with the legs, the drill,
Mm-hmm.
proper sorting procedures to avoid hazards like hidden sharp objects, double checking for anything suspicious, obviously, and just maintaining a clean, organized workspace to prevent trips and falls. It all underscores a deep commitment to keeping yourself and your colleagues safe.
Okay, so moving beyond the sort of daily operational grind, a good mail processor often needs to think more strategically, right?
That's where the role gets another layer of complexity, yes.
Let's look at how the role requires bigger picture thinking. Starting with question 12. Preventing errors when preparing packages for shipping. This sounds like quality control.
It absolutely is. It delves right into quality assurance. The source suggests practical things like double-checking labels against the contents before sealing the package. Seems obvious, but critical.
Yeah.
Using barcode scanners for verification adds another layer. Being familiar with any formal quality control systems the company uses, it really emphasizes a proactive approach, stopping mistakes before they happen.
And thinking bigger picture, automation is everywhere today. So question 13. Describe your experience with using automated mail processing systems. Seems like a must-know.
Oh, definitely. This is where you showcase your technical skills in the context of modern logistics. The source highlights systems like the USPS's Intelligent Mail Barcode, the IMB. Yeah, Intelligent Mail Barcode. It's not just a simple barcode. It's a high-density code that packs in a ton of information for sorting, tracking, monitoring mail throughout the whole delivery journey. Experience with these kinds of systems shows you understand how they improve efficiency, reduce manual work, increase productivity. It's a big deal.
Okay. And if a company is looking to, say, reduce costs associated with mail processing, that's question 14, what suggestions might show that kind of strategic, creative thinking?
This ties right into overall business efficiency. The source suggests, well, exploring more automation, obviously, to potentially reduce labor costs and improve accuracy, but also critically analyzing the existing processes. Are there bottlenecks, redundant steps? Can things be streamlined?
Right.
And maybe investing in newer tech like advanced digital scanners, not just for speed, but to reduce errors and cut down on lost mail, which is costly. It's about constantly looking for ways to improve, continuous improvement.
That makes sense. What about starting completely fresh? Question 5 asks, explain how you would go about setting up a new mail processing system in a facility. That really tests your ability to plan and execute something complex.
It does. This question really reveals how someone approaches a big problem. The source outlines a very logical sequence. You'd start with research. What does this specific facility actually need? Then evaluate different types of systems, what fits best. Then comes the detailed planning, timeline, potential obstacles, importantly the budget. And finally, you implement, test the system thoroughly, and provide training for the staff who will use it. It's a whole project management approach, really comprehensive, systematic.
And the world is smaller now, right? Mail crosses borders constantly. Question 15 asks, have you ever worked with international mail? That hints at a whole different level of complexity.
It really does. What's fascinating here is just the sheer variety of challenges. You've got customs regulations, export restrictions, potential language barriers on forms, totally different postal systems in other countries.
Yeah.
The source advises highlighting any experience you have navigating that maze. But if you don't have direct experience, then discuss how you would ensure efficiency. Maybe by committing to staying updated on regulations, using research skills to figure out requirements for specific countries. It shows global awareness.
And finally, in the strategic section, choosing the right partners is key. Question 16 asks, what are the most important considerations when selecting a mail carrier? This shifts focus to decisions impacting the bottom line.
Yeah, this raises that important balancing act. You have to weigh different factors. The source points out the obvious ones: cost, speed of delivery, reliability, and customer service quality.
But there's more.
Oh, yeah. You also need to consider things like, does the carrier handle the specific package sizes or weights you deal with? Do they offer specialized services you might need, like temperature control or handling sensitive documents? Being able to assess all these factors demonstrates critical thinking about how that choice impacts the company's operations, its costs, and ultimately its profitability.
Okay, so we've covered skills, physical demands, troubleshooting, safety, strategy. But mail processing isn't just about machines and boxes. It involves people too.
Critically so.
Question 17 gets right at that. How do you handle customer complaints related to mail delivery? This tests interpersonal skills.
And it's really about providing excellent customer service, often under difficult circumstances. The source suggests key things. Listen carefully, really hear the complaint, provide accurate information on postal rules or tracking updates, maybe collaborate with other departments if needed to get a fast resolution, and crucially, maintain a calm, professional demeanor even if the customer is upset. It's about de-escalation and finding a solution, protecting the company's image too.
With so much mail, so many tasks, managing your time must be essential.
Absolutely.
Questions like number 7, how do you prioritize tasks when faced with multiple deadlines? And number 8, tell me about a time when you had to work quickly and efficiently under pressure. Seem designed to test exactly that, productivity under fire.
They are. For prioritization, the source advises assessing urgency, what really needs to go out first, breaking down big projects into smaller, manageable chunks, creating realistic timelines, using organizational tools, simple lists, or maybe project management software if available.
And for working under pressure.
For that one, sharing a specific example is best. Talk about a time you faced a tight deadline, how you stayed organized, maybe how you broke down the tasks, perhaps how you collaborated with teammates to get it all done. It demonstrates a methodical approach, not just panic when things get hectic.
Staying on top of everything sounds paramount. Question 18 asks, what strategies do you use to keep track of incoming and outgoing mail? This really highlights organizational skill.
Yeah, sheer organization. The source points to a variety of tools you could mention. Software programs, sure. Spreadsheets, databases for organizing and maybe prioritizing mail, but also simpler methods. Physical labels, date stamps, tracking numbers are obviously vital for documenting everything. It's about showing you have a comprehensive system, whatever it is, to maintain order and accountability. No lost items.
And that organization gets tested with sheer volume, right? Question 19. Describe your experience with managing bulk mailings. That sounds like a common scenario.
Very common, especially in larger organizations or marketing contexts. This is where you demonstrate managing a large-scale logistical task. The source suggests giving concrete examples. Mention the size of the mailing if you can, like, I handled mailings of over 10,000 pieces per month. Detail the tasks involved. Sorting, labeling, bundling, distributing, maybe coordinating with the mail house. Talk about treating tracking systems for it, meeting deadlines. It shows you're confident handling significant volume and complexity.
Okay, one final question, and it feels like a really critical, high-stakes one. Number 20. What do you do if you encounter a suspicious package while processing mail?
This is absolutely a test of your understanding of security protocols and your ability to prioritize safety above all else. There's no room for error here.
What's the right answer?
The source is clear. The immediate steps are, do not touch it further, inform a supervisor immediately, alert security personnel, notify the appropriate authorities if necessary following company protocol, and strictly follow any specific training you've received for handling or isolating such packages. It underscores the absolute importance of maintaining a secure work environment for everyone.
Got it. And tying a lot of this back together, really, is question 4, familiarity with postal regulations or laws that apply to mail processing. That seems foundational.
It absolutely is. Fundamental for accuracy, legality, efficiency, everything. The source advises explaining how regulations impact your daily duties. Things like needing to sort mail by specific size or weight classes for pricing, proper labeling and sealing requirements, adhering to delivery timelines. You need to emphasize that you have experience following these rules, and importantly, that you make an effort to stay current on any changes in the industry or regulations. It's about knowing the rulebook inside and out.
Wow. So you thought you knew what a mail processor does.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm walking away with a completely new appreciation for the incredible range of skills needed here. From that meticulous data entry and the physical stamina we talked about, to complex troubleshooting, strategic thinking about costs, even navigating international logistics. It's a lot.
It really is a testament, isn't it, to how crucial these foundational roles are in the machinery of our daily lives. This deep dive, I think it's really peeled back the layers. It shows that effective mail processing is this blend of precision, yes, but also problem solving, strict adherence to rules, and actually a surprising amount of strategic thinking.
Yeah.
It highlights that critical thinking that often goes unseen, applied to tasks that might look simple from the outside.
Absolutely. And this knowledge, it's not just for nailing an interview, is it? It's about really understanding that intricate dance of efficiency and accuracy that, well, makes our world go round.
Well said. So, thinking about that, connecting it to the bigger picture, how many other roles that we see every day, seemingly simple jobs, might actually hold a similar surprising depth of skill and responsibility?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even strategic thinking if we just, took a closer look.
That is something to think about, something to ponder until our next deep dive.